Brexit were outside of London. The people of London, 30 to 70% voted for it. So it's this city-centric view where as long as they have this support network of, you know, marginally middle-class people who just want to be part of the establishment, that's why they support it. And then these low-income, basically slaves who do all the work for them, they're happy with that, and it's to hell with everybody else. In a free market capitalist system, everybody benefits, the whole country benefits, the wealth isn't sucked into a few major cities.
That's right. The elites can't handle an open free society based on free will and a free association because they can't create a global dictatorship. They want a technocracy where they get the life extension technologies and everything for themselves, and we don't get any of it. They're worried about us getting next level technologies that will free everyone, okay? And because once we get off the planet, their monopoly's over, okay? So they're literally trying to control the future. This is a total power grab of the entire species. Does that make sense?
I mean, if you're Kim Jong-un, or if you're in his staff and you live in Pyongyang, then you've got a very high quality of life. Meanwhile, half a mile away, there are people starving on the streets. They're perfectly happy for the world to be like that. I mean,
yeah, they do it on purpose. They don't produce cars because they don't want you to know they even hardly exist. Thank you, Lonnie. Stormy can get a call from Paul, but I'm handing the baton to Paul Watson. Support the broadcast. Spread the word. The war is now. Spread the word now. The revolution against tyranny is now.
We are back on the 4th Hour Live Overdrive of the Alex Jones Show with me, your host, Paul Joseph Watson. We're going to get to some other news from Europe in a little while because obviously Alex has covered this Hillary Clinton email scandal fallout. Basically, many pundits, many commentators are saying that this is the most breathtaking fix in American political history. You had the FBI director, Comey, get up there, lay out in detail in a 15, 20-minute disquisition how Hillary Clinton broke the law, only to conclude that Hillary Clinton is above the law. Period. Final confirmation, as if it were needed, that America is a banana republic. And the outrage, the reaction, the backlash from this continues. Here's some of the feedback that we've seen. Here's Dinesh D'Souza. If reports are accurate that James Comey won't indict, which of course it turned out they were, how that'll encourage these Clinton gangsters to continue their crime spree. And that's the point, isn't it? This is only going to embolden the Clinton crime family. We saw the sheer chutzpah, the brazen arrogance of Bill Clinton meeting with Loretta Lynch on the tarmac there at Phoenix Airport. And again, many commentators said, why did he do that? Well, because he could. Because he's a gangster, he's a criminal, and he's not afraid to show it. Again, meeting with Loretta Lynch, the person responsible for investigating Hillary Clinton, but they just talked about golf and grandchildren, and you can trust them. Then Hillary Clinton afterwards saying, oh yeah, Loretta Lynch may have a place within my future administration. Again, the absolute brazen chutzpah of merely suggesting that when she's the person, even though she half recused herself, who is going to have the final say on this indictment. Now, of course, Comey has come out and taken the fall, whether he was threatened or not. Some people are speculating he was. But again, that takes the heat off Loretta Lynch. Now, everybody's expecting it to come to nothing. She can quietly slip into the Hillary White House, no questions asked. Absolutely breathtaking. Here's some more reaction. Ari Fleischer, former White House press secretary. If Hillary were still Secretary of State, President Obama would have to fire her. But instead, he travels with her and seeks to promote her. Disgusting. So again, the timing. Obama, immediately after this Comey press conference, is on the campaign trail with Hillary Clinton. The timing is absolutely perfect. Here's Jan Brewer, former Arizona governor. What I got from FBI Director Comey's remarks, Hillary Clinton's recklessness makes her unfit to be president. And again, you've had Hillary Clinton on the campaign trail constantly invoke this narrative that Donald Trump is reckless with national security. After she's mishandling these national security issues on a daily basis with her email, that point now is completely null and void. And this is what may play in Trump's favor as we go forward, despite the fact that Hillary's not going to be indicted. The sheer amount of material that came out of this Comey press conference today is Trump is going to run on that for months and months to come. Let's go to this Fox News clip on that subject, analyzing how this will affect the presidential race with Republican strategist Brad Blakeman. Here's the clip.
So first of all, I believe that interview was on the phone, obviously, and only 5 minutes was allowed, which I think, at this point, that is like everything here. It seems very concocted to protect her. And boy, would I like her to be doing well right now. But Mark Halperin, tell me what you see in this. Are they trying?
Yeah, we need to go to the Fox News clip. This is Republican strategist Brad Blakeman. Let me know if you have that clip, because he's talking about how this will affect Trump, how Trump will be able to exploit this, how it will change the conversation. We'll go to that clip soon anyway. More feedback, though, more remarks coming out as a result of this non-indictment of Hillary Clinton. This is Sean Parnell, co-founder of American Warrior Initiative. He says it's official. We're a banana republic, one where high-ranking officials aren't subject to the law. Harry Shearer, again, by no means a right-wing Republican, he's a left-winger. He says there's a great recommendation for president, quote, extremely careless. And again, that's what FBI Director Comey said, that she was, quote, extremely careless with national security material. In 8 cases, top secret classified material, she was, quote, extremely careless, and yet somehow that doesn't equate to negligence. We talk about precedent. I mean, Comey alluded to it. He said, listen, some people in the past, some people in the future, to paraphrase him, you know, they will face punishment for the exact same thing that Hillary Clinton did. But Hillary Clinton won't. What's the only determination? What's the only conclusion you can draw for that? Well, it's the fact that Hillary Clinton is above the law. But we go back to December 1996. John Deutsch resigned from the FBI after it was discovered that he had stored highly classified documents on his home computer, which was connected to the internet. After a criminal investigation, Deutsch agreed to plead guilty to a misdemeanor and pay a $5,000 fine. But wait for it, how did he get off? Before the prosecutors could file the papers in federal court, President Bill Clinton pardoned him on his last day in office. So again, the exact same scenario, mishandling classified documents on his home computer. He was guilty. He had to plead guilty to a misdemeanor and pay a $5,000 fine. He was pardoned by President Bill Clinton. David Petraeus. Again, this is an ABC News report from when this happened. Petraeus has entered into an agreement with federal prosecutors in which he would plead guilty to a misdemeanor charge for mishandling classified information. The charge, unauthorized removal and retention of classified material, stems in part from documents the former director allegedly provided to his mistress. So again, in fact, he was up for a higher degree charge before he pled guilty to a misdemeanor. The fact is that he had to plead guilty because he was mishandling classified information. Here's another example. This is on the FBI's own website from less than a year ago, July 29, 2015. Folsom Naval Reservist is sentenced after pleading guilty to unauthorized removal and retention of classified materials. This is Brian H. Nishimura, who pleaded guilty to unauthorized removal and retention of classified materials. U.S. Magistrate Judge Kendall J. Newman immediately sentenced Nishimura to 2 years of probation, a $7,500 fine, and forfeiture of personal media containing classified materials. Nishimura was further ordered to surrender any currently held security clearance and to never again seek such a clearance. So his security clearance was completely revoked. He could never seek it again, and yet Hillary Clinton, who did exactly the same thing, is going to have the highest security clearance imaginable for that position if she becomes president. Again, this article from the FBI's own website, Sacramento Division, continues. According to court documents, Nishimura was a naval reservist deployed in Afghanistan in 2007 and 2008. In his role as a regional engineer for the U.S. military in Afghanistan, Nishimura had access to classified briefings and digital records that could only be retained and viewed on authorized government computers. Nishimura, however, caused the materials to be downloaded and stored on his personal, unclassified electronic devices and storage media. He carried such classified materials on his unauthorized media when he traveled off base in Afghanistan, and ultimately carried those materials back to the United States at the end of his deployment, just as Hillary Clinton was sending those emails when she was in Russia and China. So you see, again, in this case, it was not a deliberate intent, to give out classified materials to hostile powers, to foreign powers or hostile agents. It was merely the fact that he mishandled the classified information. He was sentenced. $7,500 fine, 2 years of probation. The exact same scenario, but his last name was not Clinton. And that's the standard right now for being above the law. Now let's get into the law a little bit more. In fact, I think we've got that clip now. Again, this is Republican strategist Brad Blakeman on Fox News talking about how this fallout will affect the presidential election. Here's that clip.
Some quotes, Brad, from the FBI director's statements. There is evidence they, meaning Hillary and her staff, were extremely careless in their handling of classified info. There is evidence that any reasonable person in Clinton's position should have known that an unclassified system was no place for that information. Pretty damning words for the person who wants to be the next president of the United States.
There's no doubt about it. This may be a victory for Hillary Clinton, but it's a defeat for American justice. One thing is for sure, John, while Hillary may never be tried in a court of law, she is going to be tried in the court of public opinion, and it's going to be up to Donald Trump to be the prosecutor. The American people are going to be the jury. The electorate is going to determine whether or not Hillary Clinton is capable of being the President of the United States in view of her recklessness with regard to the handling and dissemination of the most sensitive American secrets. Anybody else but Hillary Clinton would have been indicted. There's no question about it. Because she's Hillary Clinton, she got a pass. The question is, will the American people give her one too?
And that's the point, isn't it? Will this beef the crooked Hillary meme even more in a year, 2016, which has seen a complete revolt against the status quo, especially after the Brexit vote? Can Trump play on those concerns? Will this beef the view? Will this beef the narrative that things are completely out of control, that Hillary Clinton is above the law, that she represents this establishment that's so hated? She's trying to back away from that image now by saying she won't support TPP and things like this because she knows that that is toxic to be associated with this discredited establishment. So this could backfire on Hillary, despite the fact that it's a victory right now. Trump is going to get a lot of gas mileage out of this scandal because, again, he's going to make the point that crooked Hillary was protected by an administration, by a federal government that has placed her above the law. This is Guy Benson, Town Hall political editor. She mishandled top secret classified material in an extremely careless manner, which is not grossly negligent, apparently. Again, as I said, they laid out the fact that it was extremely careless. She broke the law, and we're going to go through the law in a second, but somehow that doesn't equate to gross negligence. Brazenly telling the American people that Hillary Clinton is above the law. Now, there's a Ben Shapiro article on Daily Wire. It's FBI, yes, Queen Hillary broke the law. No, she won't be prosecuted. And this really drills down, gets into the specific laws that have been broken. On July 4th, 1776, the United States announced its independence from Great Britain based on the key principle of rule of law. On July 5th, 2016, the United States said, F it, I'm with Hillary. Just days after the Attorney General of the United States, Loretta Lynch, held a secret meeting aboard a plane with former President Bill Clinton, whose wife was under an FBI investigation, just the day after Hillary leaked that she'd want Lynch for her own administration, just hours after the president of the United States, Barack Obama, flew Hillary, still under FBI investigation,